alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years it's been here. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Little darling, the smiles returning to their faces. Little darling, it seems like years it's been here. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Sun, 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 here it comes. Sun, 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 here it comes. Sun, 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 here it comes. Little darling, I feel that ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years it's been clear. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright.
Here are the chords that are needed. These chord names are in relation to the capo that's placed on the 7th fret. You'll need a D, a G, an A7, an E7, an F, and a C. Let's take a look at these chords on the guitar. Here's my capo on the 7th fret. This song requires basic chords, but there's going to be a lot of manipulating of these chords. So to get started, you'll need a D, a G, an A7, an E7, an F, and a C. Most of the chord manipulations in this song happen on the G. The D chord just features removing that second finger and on the first string there to add the 9th. That's a pretty standard variation. When you get to the G chord, you're typically playing the bass note of the chord, or notes in this case, and then playing a little melody on the high part, and you're not ever playing the full G chord with that note there on the first string. So the melody for the first line sounds like, what I did there was I have the bass note and I'm alternating between these notes here, a 3rd fret 2nd string and open 1st string. And that's going to be appearing in the first line of the verse. The second line of the verse has a different variation where you play. So there I'm alternating with this 2nd fret note on the 1st string down to the 3rd fret note on the 2nd string. And you'll see that in the tablature. And then on the 3rd line of the verse, it's a little bit different. You just stay on that 2nd fret note 1st string. Other variations that happen are on the A7 chord. And that basically is you're removing this bottom note of the A7 chord, adding it back, and then adding this 3rd fret 2nd string note. And that happens quite a bit in the song. And there's one part in the song where you play actually this high A7 by adding that high G note. To get started, I'm going to go over the verse lines first. There are 3 verse lines and then a riff that happens. The 3rd verse line can be considered the chorus of the song. Each different line has variations that happen. And what I'll do is I'll play each line slowly and then I'll show the tablature for that line. A good way to learn this song is to start off with the verse. because it's going to be similar to the intro. In fact, the intro is a little more complicated than the verse, but to build your foundation, you might want to start with the verse. So that's how I'm going to start this video off. So the verse starts off with the D, and there's a little melody that's played on the D. It sounds like this. And that's the basic melody, and that's what you're singing at the same time. So it sounds like, little darling, it's been a... And what you're doing there is, instead of playing that melody just bare bones, one note at a time, you're playing it in the D chord so you can add supporting notes to it. So it sounds like, little darling, it's been a... As you can see, I added supporting notes to that, and you're going to see that in my tablatures of these upcoming parts, that you can add support to those melody notes. As you move on to the G chord, the melody progresses to long, cold, lonely winter, and then you go to the A7. So that melody with the G chord included would be long, cold, lonely, long, cold, lonely, and then you get to the A7 where this riff predominates. So you can see what I'm doing with that A7 is I'm just removing that bottom note, replacing it, stepping up, so I'm adding a suspended fourth, which is the 3rd fret 2nd string, and then hitting the high 1st string note to complete the melody. So it sounds like... Here's line 1 of the verse played slowly. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Here's the tablature for the first line of a typical verse. Here's the second line of a verse played slowly. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here's the tablature for the second line of a typical verse. Here's the third line of a verse played slowly. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say. Here's the tablature for the third line of a typical verse. Here's the verse-ending riff played slowly. It's alright. Here's the tablature for the verse-ending riff. The intro section closely resembles the verse with some minor variations. What I'll do next is I'll divide the intro into 2 sections. I'll play each section slowly and then show the tablature for the section. Here's section 1 of the intro played slowly. Here's the tablature for section 1 of the intro. Here's section 2 of the intro played slowly. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say, it's alright. Here's the tablature for section 2 of the intro. At the end of the first verse, there's a couple measures to transition to the second verse. It sounds like this. Little darling, the smiles return. Here's the tablature for the transition measures after the first verse. Here's a sample of the bridge played slowly.
Sun, 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 here it comes. Sun, 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 here it comes. Sun, 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 here it comes.
Here's the tablature for the bridge. There's a little riff that's used to transition from the bridge to the third verse. It sounds like this.
Little darling.
Here's the tablature for the riff used to exit the bridge. Here's the ending played slowly.
Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. It's alright.
Here's the tablature for the ending.